Nikola Jokic.
I would love to play against him.
Welcome back to another episode of Rob Sports Center, man. So I got to thinking, and this was as you seen by the clip, the previous clip. So I first ran across this clip. I want to say 2 years ago when Denver had won the finals, and I remember running across it, and I remember saying, man, I want to make a video about that, but I never got into it, and it just kind of came back up on my mind, just kind of seeing a lot of other stuff that's been going around. So I was like, okay, man, I want to elaborate on that. And it's like when you look at the scope of the NBA right now, the ratings for the NBA has dropped. And I'm gonna be honest, man, I haven't even been watching the NBA. Like I haven't watched no NBA game this year. I've seen clips, but I just haven't watched it. And I'm gonna tell you one of the things that kind of threw me off with the NBA as well. So Christmas Day, I don't remember. I think it might have been that Knicks game. I don't remember who they was playing, but I remember watching them play, and I remember one of the players from one of the teams had, I guess dove for a ball or was trying to run to get a ball before it went out of bounds, and he landed on the other team player's lap, and he's just sitting on his lap, and they just laughing and lollygagging and joking, and I'm saying to myself, I'm like, see, that's what's the problem with the NBA now. It's like you don't have that level of competitiveness no more. You know what I mean? It's just not. It's like, even looking at Larry at that first clip, the first thing Larry said was when they asked him, Nicole, what you think about Nikola Jokic? Larry said, man, I would have loved to have played against him. You see what I'm saying? And Larry hadn't played the game, at that level since I don't know how long, probably since like the 90s after he retired due to his back. But the fact that years later, he still has that same mentality of competitiveness. If you go back and look at the 75 years of the 75 top 75 players in NBA history, you remember when Magic and Mike seen each other and they went up to each other and they was just joking, but they was, probably serious to a certain degree, with Mike saying, what's up? You want to go play one-on-one now? And it's like, that's what the game is missing now. It's like when with the old guys, like the legends, man, they wanted to compete against each other and they wanted to compete every night. Like load management, that type of stuff didn't exist. Going to the opposite team and having these exotic handshakes, that type of crap didn't exist back then. It was the want to be the best, the thrill to want to be the best player in the NBA and to dominate the NBA. And that's something that I think that is missing in the game today, man. And when you take away the level of competitiveness, then you also strip away effort, because that's something that we don't get. When you watch the game today, man, it's just a whole lot of 3-point shooting. That's all. It's just 3-point shooting, 3-point shooting, 3-point shooting. And it's like no defense being played. And if they miss the ball, they don't even get back on the other end to try to stop the other team from scoring. But most of the time, the other team, they just going to go on the opposite end and shoot another three. So it's like when you add all that into the situation, man, it has become a very watered down game in the last few years. And I think one of the biggest things, too, is that there's no rivalries like, how it was back in the day. Like, go back to the Magic and Bird, who saved the NBA at the time. Then you fast forward after that, you go to within that, you still had the Celtics and the Pistons. That was a rivalry, obviously. You still had eventually the Bulls and the Pistons. And then, you had the Bulls and the Pacers, the Bulls and the Knicks. So it was all, and, obviously, if you're going to go opposite conference, the Bulls and the Jazz, they met up in 2 finals. So it was always rivalries. Even when you go into the later years, man, you had Kobe and the Boston Celtics. I think that might have been one of the last real rivalries that we had. And, it was looking like we was going to get that same thing back with the Cavaliers and the Warriors. The Warriors win first year, Cavaliers win the second year, and the third year, Kevin Durant joins the Warriors. Now that becomes a one-sided victory for Golden State. It just was no beating that team. So, and that stripped away the level of competitiveness. And when you look at like how the formation of it happened, you lose to this team. Kevin Durant lost to the Warriors the previous year. They had him down 3-1, came back and won, and you go to the team that just beat you. Like, make it make sense for me. So when you factor those things in, I think that's what has gave us this watered down product in terms of the NBA. It's just like I say, man, it's just no effort. You got load management. You got guys, not, caring whether they play or not. You got guys like Zion Williamson who's getting paid so much money just to sit on the bench. So it's just that culture that's spread it out throughout the NBA. It's like right now, today is the conference championship in the NFL, and you got the Bills and the Chiefs, and that's going up against each other. And that's become a rivalry over the last 5 years, those two teams meeting up. When you think about, player rivals, individual rivals, when you think about Marshawn Lattimore and Mike Evans, how that became a big rivalry between those two. So that's what the NBA is missing, man. It's just like that competitiveness. And I think that some of it can also be on coaching too, man, because as a coach, you create the atmosphere of whatever it is that you want. And I think that a lot of these coaches are kind of just allowing these guys to just get away with, whatever, and just, I listened to a guy named Scap Attack, and he always talk about player empowerment. And I think that right now, the way that things are going is that, coaches are allowing the players to kind of dictate and control the environment, whereas in the past, that wasn't necessarily the case. And it gives you this over watered down product. But, like I always say too, and it's never to knock the new school, because I do believe, like I said, I appreciate all eras of basketball because I think that all of them happen for a reason, So even with the newer era, I would say that, yeah, the guys today are more athletic than the guys of the past, but that's only because of the evolution of the game. The same thing 10, 15 years from now, we'll be saying that about the current game today in terms of the guys are more athletic. Now, skill, I ain't gonna give you that, but more athletic, I will give you that. And I think that we have players within the NBA right now that could potentially bring back that competitive nature. Is just to see how they handle it going forward. You got guys like, Giannis Antetokounmpo is a guy, who came in, stuck with his original team and was able to, go through the bottoms and, able to win a championship with his team originally. You got guys like Anthony Edwards who likes to compete, so I believe we have good players in the game, and I might have missed some names too, but we do have guys that's willing to compete, and hopefully that, that can trickle off around into the NBA as a whole, and the game can get back to where it used to be in terms of, exciting game, a game that we all love to watch and watch those guys compete. But, man, that's it for this video, man. If you have anything you want to chime in on it about, man, make sure you let me know in the comments. If it's anything that you agree with me on, let me know in the comments. If it's anything that you disagree with me on, let me know in the comments. And if it's anything that I missed and you like, Rob, man, you forgot to talk about this, you forgot to address this, let me know in the comments, man. I look forward to hearing from you guys. And like I said, if you did enjoy this video, man, smash that thumbs up button. If you enjoyed this video and you enjoy a lot more content that you watch on my channel, man, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And when you hit that subscribe button, click that post notification bell. That way you'll be notified every time I upload. And I'll see y'all in the next video, man. Peace.